I'm taking a break during this range session just to go over this new MagnetoSpeed mount that I acquired. This is the Wiser Precision MagnetoSpeed mount. It's designed for chassis or stocks, so that's such that you can connect your MagnetoSpeed or mount your MagnetoSpeed to the rifle, not by the barrel traditionally, but via Picatinny rail or Arca-Swiss. So I purchased this specific mount with the capability to do both. So I have it connected to my spigot mount, which is adapted for Arca-Swiss dovetails. But the the Masterpiece Arms competition chassis, the BA Comp chassis, has a Arca-Swiss machine here, which is how I have my bipod set up. So you can set it up here, but that will require me obviously to move my bipod further back. Gives me less angle, or I guess less area, and therefore you got less control, so you kind of want to get out farther. Anyway, so I put the Wiser Precision mount on the spigot mount, which is how I had my setup, how you have to have it set up if you're using the Masterpiece Arms MagnetoSpeed chassis mount that they make. And I have a review of that on my blog, and I also have a range vlog where I tested that device. So check that out, and I'll provide links to that in the description of this video. But basically this is the whole setup. You got a carbon tube that's connected to this mount here that goes to your chassis, and then you have a sleeve that connects to the carbon tube, is where you actually clamp your strap your MagnetoSpeed bayonet to. So this is all, I think it's carbon fiber for the tube, and you got fiberglass that holds the display to the Wiser Precision tube, as well as fiberglass for the bayonet actual mount. And the range is cold right now. I'm the only one here. This is unloaded. I'll drop my mag, which is basically a sled, single loading device. But I'll go ahead and point it towards you, and you'll see that the display is mounted on the MagnetoSpeed display is mounted on the Wiser Precision mount for ease of use. And then you use the self-tensioning cable, so you have less cable on the, you don't have to worry about wiring there, so it's all nice and self-contained. It works pretty well. Did some live fire earlier, and it seems to work fine. But when you're setting this whole thing up, you're going to find that the sleeve is actually not clamped down. It freely moves, and that's designed for you to easily adjust where the bayonet sits relative to your rifle. Obviously, once you get it connected to your rifle, barrels, people have different length barrels, so you have to move the bayonet farther forward or further back. But the problem with that is when I was setting it all up, I was like, wow, this will move around. It could move around, especially in transport. And I thought, you know what, it might move when I'm shooting. And a day after I received it in the mail, Wiser Precision sent an email out and said, hey, you know what, for all you guys who purchased it, we've got feedback from other users who said that the bayonets, the little frame there, was actually moving with heavily recoiling rifles. And they said they're going to release a new sleeve free of charge. They'll send it back out. But when I was looking, I was like, you know what, I don't know why they didn't put a set screw or put some kind of clamp on that, just to secure it in place once you've got it set where you want it. Coincidentally enough, yesterday I received this in the mail, which is basically the replacement sleeve, which has a clamp mechanism, which is exactly what I thought that they should have put when I was examining it and setting it up after I received it. But this is the first time I came out and shot with it, and so I wanted to shoot with it as is in their original, I guess, original release date design. And I'm actually looking at it right now, and it actually moved. It actually canted the clockwise if you're looking at downrange. But let me bring the camera around, we'll take a look at it. Here's basically the left side view of the rifle. As you can see here, the display is connected or hooked up to this mount here. This also freely moves, so you can kind of adjust it up and down. It's just sort of so you can easily adjust it based on where you want it, slide it back and forth. It's only held in by tension, and so it actually pops out here. The plug will keep it in place, but generally if you're trying to operate the buttons, it actually will pop forward, which is kind of annoying. So you kind of have to hold behind it when you're operating the buttons. I was going to put a Velcro strap around this to kind of secure it, but I figured, you know what, this is held into place by the plug. so it won't like pop out on recoil, but it is kind of annoying, and I wish they designed this slightly better. But let's take a look at the top-down view of the bayonet mount, and as you can probably see on camera that the bayonet mount is slightly canted to the left this way, so it went counterclockwise. It should have been, and I'll show you how it moves, but basically you can just use your hand to kind of tweak it left, and there you go. I just moved it back. So on the sleeve right here, so you can move the sleeve back and forth. So that's what I was concerned about, but I was also concerned about how the strap mechanism works. So basically you can actually move this deal up and down, as you can see, because there's these tracks here, which is cool. It's a cool design, but these tracks allow such that the MagnetoSpeed can be adjusted up and down based on where you want it. And my concern was, would this actually, I've tensioned it up quite a bit using the actual factory tensioning mount, because it's based on that. You use this to kind of tension it, loosen it up if you need to move it or adjust the strap. And technically I should loosen it up right now when I'm moving this, but this is all for demonstration. But I was concerned that during recoil, this might actually move up, but it seems likely that it would actually move down on recoil. Because my concern is if it moves up during recoil, if you like suddenly you're shooting a string of fire and finally it gets to the point where it goes all the way up or far enough up that it'll hit the bore line, and you'll eventually shoot the bayonet, which would be a bad thing, obviously. But I think if it does loosen during recoil or like moves during recoil, it's probably going to go down, maybe. I don't know. But that's a slight concern for me. And I wish they actually put gradations or something on the tracks here such that it actually won't move freely. Like you kind of have to let it jump to a certain, like maybe a tooth or something, so it requires a little bit more force, or you have to loosen this up a little bit more just to get it over the tooth, so it has some sort of safety, right? That, or they have some kind of locking mechanism to lock this down on the track so it won't move. Set screw or something, I don't know. I didn't design this thing, but I think it's a, you know what, I'm criticizing it right now, but it is an interesting design, and they've come up with something that actually does relatively work. So hey, it is what it is, but this is kind of a concern here. As you can see, even with this strap, it does have some play there, but this is what you're concerned about here, and this is what slid, so it moved counterclockwise. This is kind of an extreme, but just kind of give you a demonstration of how it moves. But it also moves back and forth. Again, if you want to, let me try to loosen up this strap here. I'm trying to do this while holding the camera here because I'm not on the tripod. Let's see, there you go, clockwise. So if you loosen it up, you can actually drive, maybe you can drive it. It's kind of, there you go. So it can go back and forth depending on how far you need it on the barrel line. So if you have a long barrel, you can move it out forward. So it's an interesting design, and they did come up with an intriguing way of how to accomplish this mounting solution. That is a bit more universal, because my Masterpiece Arms MagnetoSpeed mount is unique to only the Masterpiece Arms chassis, and so I can't use that with anything else. But this, you could technically use it with any other rifle, including AR-15s that have a pick rail or have Arca-Swiss mounts on the foreend. So that's the Wiser Precision MagnetoSpeed mount. I'll put a link to Wiser Precision in the video description, but this is, so far right now, during this initial range session, I've only shot about 15 rounds over it. I'm gonna go ahead and install this clamp deal, obviously, or this new sleeve with the clamp, because it is moving. But I'm gonna have more of a detailed write-up, a lot more photos, and some more thoughts and opinions in an article on my blog, probably in the next couple of weeks. So definitely check out my blog at ocabj.net for a write-up on the Wiser Precision mount. Whenever this video gets published, it should be out in a week or two after that, maybe. Depends on how my timing is, but it takes me a while to write a few things. Plus I take a lot of photos whenever I can for my own blog articles. But if you're looking at this, if I recall, this is about 130 bucks, $140. Sorry, I should have wrote it down, but it is a little pricier. I mean, comparatively speaking, compared to what's out there, I think there's only one other mount besides the Masterpiece arms mount, and the Masterpiece arms mount, I can't remember how much that cost, but it's in my article. I have a write-up on the Masterpiece arms MagnetoSpeed mount, and that's also quite expensive, but this I think is cheaper and it's more universal. It's been annoying though, because, well, annoying for me that the Masterpiece arms doesn't use the clamp or the strap deal, so I have to take off the strap mechanisms to use that, use the MagnetoSpeed with the Masterpiece arms mount. But for this, I have to have the strap on. So I think there was kind of a pun there unintentionally, but with the strap, I mean, I have to have that all strap mechanism on the MagnetoSpeed bayonet if I want to use it with this device, the Wiser Precision mount, or if I want to use it with just clamp it to the barrel. So I think it's kind of cool. I was going to try this out at a 1,000-yard match last weekend, but I just got lazy to go to the match because I would have had to get out of the house by 4:30 to make it out there, and it's about an hour and a half drive. But I would have liked to try it in a pro match because I think this would be ideal for that, especially when you have the display hooked up onto the mount, and you could just pick it up off the firing line, set down, it's all self-contained, and everything's ready to go. It would have been a nice format to shoot it in. But that's pretty much it. Like I said, Wiser Precision, I'm going to have a write-up on this mount, MagnetoSpeed mount, on my blog at okfj.net in the next couple of weeks after this video comes out. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me and I'll answer them ahead of time. But I should have a lot of the information about this mount and my thoughts in that article when it gets written up and published. Thanks for watching.